Think you've got your preps covered? Think again. Today, I'm diving into the weird, wonderful, and surprisingly essential items that most preppers overlook. Now, I'm not just some Joe off the street. I've been knee-deep in the prepping world for over 2 decades, learning, adapting, and sharing my knowledge with folks like you. We all know the importance of being ready for when the SHTF, that moment when the world as we know it takes a nosedive. And while we've got our canned goods, bottled water, and first aid kits at the ready, there are some unexpected items that can make a world of difference in a survival situation. We're talking everyday items with extraordinary uses. Items like petroleum jelly, pool shock, even aluminum pie pans. Yep, you heard that right. These are items you probably have lying around your house right now, but I bet you never thought they'd be critical in a survival situation. But we're not stopping there. We're also going to delve into overlooked medical and hygiene items, advanced prepper gear you might not have considered, and even some security and practicality items that could come in handy. Did you know that something as simple as a straw can be a lifesaver in the wilderness? Or that a deck of playing cards can be more than just a way to pass the time? And what about dental picks, condoms, and even toy balloons? And let's not forget about items like potassium, iodide tablets, activated charcoal, and fish antibiotics. These are items you might not have given a second thought, but they could be the difference between life and death in a SHTF scenario. So buckle up, folks. We're about to take a deep dive into the unseen prepper essentials. These are the items that can make your survival preps go from good to great, from adequate to exceptional. Stay tuned as we dive into the everyday items with extraordinary uses for survival. We often overlook the potential of everyday items in survival situations. Let's start with petroleum jelly. This humble cosmetic staple is more than just a skin protector or a lip balm. It's a surprisingly effective fire starter. Combine some petroleum jelly with a bit of lint and voila! You've got yourself a homemade tinder that can spark a flame in no time. Next up, we have pool shock. This might seem like an odd addition to a survival kit, but in a pinch, it can be used for water purification. Just remember to use it cautiously and always follow the guidelines. Now, let's talk about aluminum pie pans. They're lightweight, they're cheap, and they're incredibly versatile. In a survival situation, you can use these shiny discs as signaling mirrors to catch the attention of rescuers. You can also use them as makeshift solar ovens or even as cooking vessels. Imagine boiling water in a pie pan using nothing but sunlight. Talk about resourceful. Straws are another item with extraordinary uses. They can be used for siphoning as fire bellows or even as blowguns. Yes, you heard it right. A simple drinking straw can turn into a mini blowgun that can shoot small darts. And then there are condoms. Despite their typical use, condoms can be lifesavers in survival situations. They can be used as water carriers, capable of holding up to 1 liter of water. They can also serve as tourniquets or as waterproof storage for small essential items. Now, let's consider playing cards. Beyond entertainment, they can be used for bartering or building small structures. In survival situations, it's often about making the most of what you have on hand. Even toy balloons have their place in a survival kit. They can be used for signaling, as water carriers, or even as slingshots. Just be cautious with their projectiles. Last but not least, we have nail clippers. Beyond their obvious use for hygiene, they can be used for cutting line or for first aid purposes. These everyday items show that survival often depends on creativity and resourcefulness. They remind us that the most ordinary objects can have extraordinary uses when the situation calls for it. So, the next time you're going through your survival kit, remember to think outside the box. You never know when a simple straw or a humble can of petroleum jelly might save your life. Health becomes a priority in survival situations. Here are some medical and hygiene items often overlooked. When we think of survival, we often focus on food, water, and shelter. But health and hygiene are just as crucial. Let's dive into some overlooked items that could make a world of difference when the chips are down. First up, we have potassium iodide tablets. In the event of a nuclear disaster, these little tablets could be a lifesaver. They work by saturating the thyroid with safe iodine, preventing the absorption of harmful radioactive iodine. It's not a cure-all, but it could give you a fighting chance against radiation sickness. Next, consider adding a dental emergency kit to your preps. Toothaches can become debilitating quickly, and in a survival situation, you may not have access to a dentist. These kits can provide temporary fillings and offer toothache relief. It's not a permanent solution, but it can buy you some time until you can get professional help. Activated charcoal is another overlooked item. It's not just for whitening teeth. Activated charcoal can help treat certain types of poisoning by binding to toxins and preventing their absorption into the body. It's also been used for water filtration, albeit with limited effectiveness. As always, use with caution and consult a professional if possible. Fish antibiotics may raise some eyebrows, but in a survival situation, they could be a lifesaver. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not telling you to self-medicate. But in an extreme situation where professional medical help is not available, these could potentially be used in human emergencies. Do your research, understand the risks, and always consult a healthcare professional if possible. Finally, let's talk about a long-term feminine hygiene solution: the reusable menstrual cup. In a survival situation, traditional disposable products may not be available. A menstrual cup is reusable, easy to clean, and can last for years. It's an environmentally friendly option that's also practical in a SHTF scenario. Now, I'm not saying that these items will solve all your medical and hygiene problems in a survival situation, but they can certainly help. Remember, when it comes to prepping, it's all about thinking outside the box. Don't just prepare for the obvious, prepare for the unexpected. Remember, health is wealth, even more so in survival situations. For those serious about prepping, some advanced gear can make survival more certain. Let's delve into the nitty-gritty of these essential tools and equipment that can give you an edge in a survival situation. First up is tinder fungus. This natural fire starter has been used for centuries, and its ability to catch a spark and maintain a slow, steady burn makes it a reliable choice for getting a fire going. Plus, it's often readily available in woodland areas, so knowing how to identify and use it can be a lifesaver. Moving on, we have seed ball kits. Now, these are a fantastic long-term food source solution. These balls of clay, compost, and seeds can be scattered in the wild to create a guerrilla garden. Just imagine, in a post-apocalyptic world, you could be dining on fresh greens and vegetables from your secret garden. Next in our lineup is the Mylar emergency blanket. Lightweight and compact, these blankets are designed to retain up to 90% of your body heat, making them essential for cold weather survival. But they're more than just blankets. They can be used for shelter building, to signal for help, or even to collect rainwater. Speaking of water, our next item is a portable solar still. In survival situations, clean water is often the hardest resource to come by. A solar still uses the power of the sun to distill water from the ground, or even from plant material. It's a simple yet effective way to ensure you have a clean water supply. Now let's talk about the flint and steel set, a traditional method of fire making. While modern fire starters are convenient, they can fail or run out of fuel. But with a flint and steel set, you have a virtually endless source of sparks to start your fires. Next on our list is potassium permanganate. This is a powerful oxidizer that has multiple survival uses. It can purify water, start a fire, and even be used as a mild antiseptic. But remember, it's potent stuff, so handle with care and use it sparingly. Food is another crucial survival aspect, and our next item, powdered egg substitute, is a great resource. These eggs have a long shelf life, are high in protein, and can be used in a variety of recipes. Plus, they're lightweight and easy to pack, making them ideal for a bug-out bag. Last but not least, we have ham radio equipment. When cell towers are down and the internet is a thing of the past, ham radio could be your only means of long-distance communication. With it, you can receive emergency broadcasts, communicate with other preppers, and even reach out to rescue services. But remember, operating a ham radio requires a license, so make sure you're prepared in that regard. Advanced gear can give you an edge, but remember, knowledge and skills are your best weapons. After all, the best gear in the world won't help you if you don't know how to use it. So keep learning, keep practicing, and stay prepared. Security is a crucial aspect of survival. Here are some practical items that can enhance your security. Let's start with a lock-picking set. Now, before you raise your eyebrows, remember, we're talking survival situations here, not everyday ethics. A lock-picking set can provide emergency access to resources when needed most. It's a skill that takes practice, but it could be a real lifesaver. Next up, we have fire cord. This isn't your average paracord. Inside, there's a strand that's designed to be highly flammable, serving as excellent tinder. It's a 2-for-1 deal. A strong, durable cord for building, securing, and repairing, and a fire starter for when you need to cook or keep warm. Then there's the vacuum sealer. This wonder tool extends the shelf life of your food by removing air, thus preventing bacteria from thriving. This means you can store more food for longer periods, ensuring your supplies last when it matters most. Now, speaking of fire, let's talk about the ferro rod. This is a waterproof fire starter that can generate sparks in any weather. Unlike matches or lighters, it won't run out or fail in the damp. It's an old school tool, but sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Next, let's discuss the ghillie suit. This camouflage outfit can blend you into your surroundings, making you virtually invisible. It's great for hunting, but also for evasion. In a survival situation, being seen can sometimes be more dangerous than anything else. Now, imagine this. It's pitch black, and you're trying to navigate or spot potential threats. That's where a night vision monocular comes in. It's a tool that allows you to see in low light or complete darkness. It's not just about security, but also about safely moving and operating when the sun goes down. Finally, there's the tactical pen. It might look like a regular pen, but it's a hidden self-defense tool. Made from durable materials, it can be used to fend off an attacker. And of course, it still functions as a pen, so you can keep notes or send written messages. Security and practicality go hand in hand in survival situations. Be prepared, be safe. We've covered a lot of ground today discussing some surprising prepper essentials. From everyday items with extraordinary uses to overlooked medical and hygiene aids, we've delved into advanced gear and even touched upon security and practicality. Each of these items serves a unique purpose and might just make the difference when the chips are down. It's all about thinking outside the box, my friends. Those aluminum pie pans, playing cards, and even the humble straw can become lifesavers in a pinch. And don't forget those less common items like potassium iodide tablets or a handy lockpicking set. They might not be on your standard prepper list, but they're worth considering. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What unexpected items have you found useful in your prepping journey? Share your finds in the comments below. After all, we're all in this together. Subscribe for more prepping tips and gear reviews. Stay safe and stay prepared.